Hey guys, Phil here at Woods Tree Farm. I want to share a few things with you about the Champion log splitter that we've had for a couple months now. We split a bunch of wood and I just took down this tree today. I started bucking it up, but the sun's going down and I wanted to make sure I got in this video before I headed home for the day. So I'm going to load up a couple rounds here. We'll go up and we'll split a few rounds and I'll share with you a few things that I think anyone who is interested in one of these Champion log splitters might want to know. And there's something about my log splitter that I want to ask you guys about. There's actually something that I think might not be right with it, but you guys can let me know. And we'll go ahead and get into this now. Follow along. Let's have a little fun. Here we go. Well, there you go. I have split all of that this season. That's about a little over 20 feet long here, 4 feet high. Got two nice rows on these pallets here. And then I actually split more than this with this splitter as well, because I've already sold through some stuff that I split earlier this year. This is all I have left of the seasoned wood, and I'm just going to save that and do bundles at Christmas time. Here's the splitter, and I've showed you guys this on video before, but in case you missed the kind of intro to this splitter, I picked this up secondhand from Facebook Marketplace, so I don't know the history, but all in all, it appears to be in pretty good shape. It's the Champion 27-ton splitter with the full beam. So you can see the whole length underneath here. It's got that long beam that runs the length of it. I know they make some other splitters with the half beam, but this is the full beam. And I guess that just makes the splitter a little bit more rigid maybe. I'm not 100% sure. It's got their own house brand engine on it. It's a 224cc. It starts up really easily and haven't had any issues with that or anything. Okay, so there's two main things I want to do in this video. I want to share with you a couple things about the splitter I don't like, and I'm going to show you how it splits these big rounds I just picked up. You saw how big they are. Then I want to do a cycle time test, because I've noticed in a few of my other videos, I pretty much always just run the engine full throttle. And in a few of my other videos, I noticed like you couldn't hear the wood crack at all. You know, that satisfying cracking sound that you hear on other YouTube videos. If you watch other YouTube videos like I do, I like seeing that wedge go into the wood and hearing that crack or that pop as that wood splits apart. And you couldn't hear that in any of my other videos because the engine noise just completely overtook any other noise from the wood. So I want to do a little test here to see if I run it at a lower RPM, how much quieter is it, and also how does that impact the cycle time. So we'll do a little cycle time test, and then lastly, there's something that I think might be wrong with my splitter. You guys can let me know what you think, and I'm going to try to dig into this thing a little bit, see if I can make an adjustment, and see if I can get it to work any better. So let's get into it. as I was working here, this is precisely what I wanted to show you that I don't like about the splitter, and it happens so often that I knew I could just split through a piece or two of wood and end up showing you. But if you see here, the wedge does not go all the way down, and that's happening right now because there's so much debris built up right here that all this compacted debris that's down here is not letting the wedge go its full travel. Now, on a lot of this wood, it doesn't really matter. It's split before the wedge gets all the way down here. But there's been plenty of pieces where the wedge has debris built up down here, and I have to either flip the log or I have to, retract the wedge, clear the debris, and try to split it the rest of the way. So that's a little bit of an inconvenience. There are some holes here. I'll show you when I turn it back on, and those holes are supposed to let the debris evacuate out of this little trough here that the wedge slides in, but it really doesn't work out that great, and debris gets really compacted up in there, and then, like I said, you don't get the full travel. So that's a little minor annoyance. I end up just keeping a screwdriver nearby, and I can just kind of flick out anything that gets compacted in there. I don't know if that's a common thing with splitters. This is the first splitter I have owned, or I don't know if that's unique to this particular splitter, but that is one thing that has annoyed me a little bit so far. Alright, next up, we'll just test the cycle time at full throttle, about 3/4 throttle, and half throttle, and see how the times change. Well, I'll put a recap of the times here up on the screen. You guys can let me know what you think about that. I'm interested to see what the times are myself. I don't have a stopwatch out here while I'm doing it, so I'll see it while I'm editing this video. But obviously, if I can run lower RPMs and save a little fuel and not waste a lot of time, that'll be a good thing to do. And then the last thing here, you noticed I was pushing and holding the lever to get the wedge to return. But this splitter is supposed to have auto return. So I believe there's something wrong with this splitter. There's only one thing I can see to play with on the handle itself here, or the lever assembly itself. So I'm going to go ahead and tinker with that now and see if it makes a difference. You guys can let me know what you think, if you know anything about how these log splitters are supposed to work. I may end up contacting Champion and see if they can offer any support, but it would be really, really nice to be able to just throw that lever back and let go of it, let the piston return, so that I can go and move around the wood or grab another piece of wood or do whatever it is I need to do and not have to hold that lever. Right on the back of the control knob here, there's this cap that easily unthreads, and behind it is a nut. And I don't know if doing anything with that will change anything with the way that the auto return works, but you can see here that that moves in and out when I manipulate this lever. And it looks like that nut, if you see that, is acting as a stop for when I pull the lever forward. So one thought I had is maybe it's not getting pulled forward far enough in order to activate the auto return. So in theory, if I am to loosen this nut, that could extend how far I can move this lever out. These hose is in the way. So if I move that, okay, so far that itself didn't change anything. It's hitting some other stop internally. So I don't know what else there is. If I take this off, oh, you see that? This whole post is unthreading now. And there's a spring in there. Okay, interesting. And then it looks like this is keyed, so you could probably put a spanner on that and turn this and do something. But for where I'm at right now, I'm going to stop here because I don't know completely what I'm doing, and I don't have the diagram, the parts diagram on me to know what else might be inside. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back. But if you guys know anything about how these things work, and if you have any suggestions about what I might want to explore to get this auto return to work, you can let me know. Interesting enough, that might have done it. Look, it's actually, when I push it back, it's staying back. So I'm not sure what I did differently here, but it's working. I wonder if it works when it's on. Let me go ahead and tighten back down on this. See if that behavior continues. So far, so good. Okay. I don't think I really did anything except take it apart and put it back together. But I'll take it. I'm going to fire this thing up and let's see if the auto return works. Alright, well, I'm really surprised just taking that thing apart and putting it back together made it work, at least sort of work. That auto return lever is still not popping back out like it's supposed to after it returns fully. So if you guys got any thoughts or ideas or comments that you want to share about how to fix this thing, I am all ears, and I know a lot of you guys out there are pretty good about sharing what you know when you spot something in one of my videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Consider subscribing to the channel. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.